Debra Roberts, you had the Environmental Planning and Climate Protection Department in Durban, and you also sit on various international advisory bodies focusing on climate change issues in cities. The world is becoming increasingly urban. Now, how is that seen in South Africa, and what are the biggest challenges that you face here?
Well, I think South Africa is like many African countries. We know we're quite schizophrenic around our urban identity because Africa, for its entire existence in the existing economic setup, has been identified as rural. And so all of our planning tools gear us to handle the rural challenges, and we are not gearing ourselves to deal with the urban challenges, which is hugely problematic because we are the most rapidly urbanizing. Our cities are going to be fundamentally different. They're going to be small, informal, very poor patterns of governance. So we're not owning the identity, we're not owning the problems, and we don't have a tool set to deal with them. So I would say that we're at a critical moment on the continent from an urban perspective.
And what are the characteristics, do you think, of a sustainable city? Or is there even such a thing?
I suppose the short answer is no, and the reason I say that is really if we look at the beginning of the sustainable development debate, Rio 1992 set us this idea of winning sustainable development. If you did the right kind of things in the right order, you would win this package called sustainable development. I don't think it's a product. I don't think there's an end goal. I don't think there's a time we'll ever be sustainable, but I do think it's a process. And so we're going to have to drive ourselves along that particular spectrum of increasing sustainability in urban areas, which will require new tools, new innovation, new partners working together. And the job is not going to get easier. It's going to get more difficult as we push our way along the spectrum.
Mm. And what do you think, what is the role of science in this? I mean, isn't it time to just do it, to just implement?
Absolutely. I mean, I think there's an increasing demand from society for action, and I think there is already a growing cadre of practitioners who are doing it. We probably need more coordination between them, but I do think science is an important additive because the problems we're facing are not getting simpler. They're getting more complex, they're spanning longer periods of time, so you need all the tools you can in the toolbox. Science brings a very important element in that toolbox, but it probably has to be a different form of science, so we have to be tolerant of a broader range of science. It has to be a science that's more adaptable to the practitioner need, so we probably have to think about that bridging between the science and policy and practice worlds in a different way. So yes, important, but it's probably not science as you and I know it currently.